All right, gents. Good morning to everyone. Welcome to
Morning.
today's Coffee and Blunts podcast. I got my people with me. You know what I'm saying? I got, Chris and Roland, aka, Bread and Mr. 2-1. And I'm your host, Victor Vinziant with Accountable Masculinity. You see the brand, you know what I'm saying? So uh, on the pod today, we got Wealth is Gangster, ran by my man Tony, the House of Resources located in Temple, Texas. And my partner Adam, with Unapologetically Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying, brand.
Every day.
Rocking the merch today. What's good, buddy?
Yes, sir.
What's good, man? How y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Rising, man. Appreciate it. Glad to be on, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. That's
Salute to the homies. What's up, man? Good to meet all y'all.
yeah.
Good morning, Grand Rising, however y'all want
I'm more. I say Grand Rising, but I'm not into like.
I say
people be
Grand
taking stuff overboard, like you know what I'm saying.
I hope I find a grand when I'm rising.
You know.
Hey, we're starting off with the
It's all
ball.
love.
Hey, wait. Today's the first of the month. Yeah, we got a few grand in the month.
We got to start off with the
Grand
ball.
Rising.
Wake up! It's the first day of the month.
Rest of the month, man.
Yeah.
Really.
So today's topic is the perception of power, and all of the gentlemen here do something completely different. I have a good unilateral relationship with each one of you, and then I also believe that we got a good collective relationship because we all focus on the same things. You know what I'm saying, in terms of unifying. You know what I'm saying, the right people in our own network. So I wanted to start off with, I want to go around the table. What do you guys think power is in your own definition? So I want to start with our guest that's on, on the stream first, and then we'll work the same question, throughout the other members of the panel.
Go for it.
Now, Tony, the guest, go ahead, man.
Okay.
We want
What's
Tony.
going on, man? Tony Johnson, out here in Temple. I run the House of Resources, CEO Youth League, thrift store, chickens, all kind of stuff we got going on over here, man. So, perception. My thing of power is the rules that I live by, right? I tell everybody we got to be able to feed ourselves, house ourselves, clothe ourselves, educate ourselves, employ ourselves, and protect it. So you'll see that I have the House of Resource. That's my educational center. That's my business center. You'll see I have a thrift store. You'll see I have chickens. I have bees. I'm building a system where it's not all about the money, right? Because I've been on my own since I was 12, so I've been getting money for a long time. But I realized the more money you get, sometimes you become powerless. And that's something that we don't never talk about in the Black community. We talk about running up the bag, but it's a bunch of people with money and they got no power. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's even worse than being broke with no power. You know what I'm saying? So my perception of power is being able to do something despite opposition. And that's something as Black people, we don't have, or Black people, Puerto Rican minority, whatever you want to call it. We never been in that position. We've been in position to get money. Like, everybody know a couple ways to get $1. But have you ever built a system? Have we built our own system where we can transport food back and forth, where we got our own clinics, where you're not worried about if HEB out of food because you can call me for eggs or you can call me for honey or I can call you for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a part of the power game that we never talk about. We just talking about running up the bag, but it's a bunch of powerless Black people with money. So my perception is doing what you want to do despite opposition, because if people let us do something, that's not power. Because they can take it away. If they give it to you, they can take it away from you. But if you tell me I can't have it and I go take it, despite you fighting against me, I just showed you a power move.
Facts. For me, it's easy. Utilizing resources that you have. You know what I'm saying? I love how you have that Wealth is Gangsta out there, and you have to have different resources. You know what I mean? It's being adult with your resources is what gives you the power. Because you can have equity and stuff, but without that power, you ain't going to use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to learn how to use the resources from that power in order to get that going. So yeah, I think, having the resources and being adult about the resources is the power there. You know what I mean? And you're right. We have to take our power back. They're quick to give us a bag, but they won't let us be in charge of shit and do things that we need to, which is why we need to do stuff like this and get together and make that power. We have that resource. Have equity with each other so we can do that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That's power.
Yeah, I agree with that. What you got, Brett?
Shit, the same thing they talking about, information and resources. That's my definition of power.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What you got, Chris?
Oh, my bad. I'm over here. Power. I feel like I'm so distraught right now. I'm over here trying to school got power right now. How about that? The school got the power.
The school got the power.
The school let my son act a certain way for so long, and now they're trying to adjust and want me to bow down to what they got to say. They think they got power, but I'm showing them a black man with power, and I fight back. I'm here for my kids.
Hey,
Standing on what you believe in, and don't let nobody move you. That's what power is. And I believe they're the ones who messed up my son, and I'm trying to fix it and create a better way for him.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like I say, and in that instance, power is you handling them and checking them. But the powerfulest move that you can make in that position is why are we even going back and forth with the schools? Why we don't have our own school? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like I mentor a lot of kids in Temple, and they always they have me at these meetings talking to the principals, and I'm like I go because I'm fighting for the kid, but I tell them in the middle of it like this is pointless because they rules are they rules. Like if you come in my house, you got to follow my rules. Even if you don't like it, you're in my house, right? So we got to understand that we can't cry to them and telling them to do the morally right thing, and they're doing the right thing. The system was set up for us to be in the position we in, so we can't be like, well, we're in a bad position. Y'all need to change it. No, it was built for us to be in a bad position. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the power move for me is starting the house of resources and starting it where, okay, well, we're going to start off with after school programs and weekends. And then by next year, I can move into having my own home school, where I can move into a private school. Like we got to take those steps. That's the real power, because I done had 3 of my kids that I'm mentoring now had their parents pull them out, and now they get homeschooled because I knew they wasn't going to make it this high school. They was in fights. They meet up just for fighting and shootings and stuff at school. Now they're not even meeting up to teach no more, to learn anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Like they even pull up to teach because everything's on the computer.
So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the power is, how can we not complain to them? How do we control it? You know what I'm saying? Like when you can wake up and you can like, you know what, my child is at a school ran by us, and I know they got the love for them, and if they getting disciplined or whatever, it's coming from a different point of view. You know what I'm saying?
Paddles back.
My kids don't know that, and that's what I try to display. Like I did a summer camp this summer inside the building that I'm buying for my school, and the kids are just like, one kid told me, "You're my favorite teacher." I'm not even a teacher, but what she was saying is she's not used to no black man talking like this, standing on business like this, cool with them, but it's at the same time firm. That reminds them of a daddy or an uncle or a cousin. So now they're more inclined to listen to me instead of me being a guy from a different culture that don't understand them, fussing at them, telling them they need to take pills and ADHD and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we take power. Power is not complaining to them that we don't.
Hey, that what this package is. They told my son that he got ADHD, and they told him that basically he disabled.
Yeah.
And like I try to practice to him and tell him, hey, they already don't. First of all, they already set you up in the beginning from 6th grade. He's in 8th grade now. 6th grade, they let my son get away with a lot of stuff. 8th grade, they let him get. 7th grade, let him get away with a lot of stuff. And I used to go up there and I always tell him, quit trying to save my child. Let my child, if he get in trouble, let him get in trouble so I understand where he can understand his consequences. Don't sit here and call me to the school and y'all call me 40 times. I get to school, he got 2 referrals. That don't mean nothing to me. I need to see 40 referrals because you called me 40 times. But we trying to save him. Now look at y'all 8th grade. Y'all don't want to save him no more. And he's used to y'all trying to save him. And now y'all want to come with all this extra stuff. And I tell y'all when I come up here, hey, I'm a parent that's concerned. I go to the school, they tell me, oh, it ain't really many parents like you. Well, here I am. Hey, what do we need to do to help your son? Well, y'all need to let me into the school 2 or 3 times a week. So he'll think Jason and Freddy Krueger outside. You feel me? When I lurk behind that tree at lunch and he look outside and see his daddy, he'll understand, oh, I need to act right. Because one thing is, y'all let him get away so much like a woman would. You feel me? Because I tell him all the time, hey, if you don't punish me for a month, you don't punish for a month. I'm not going to say you don't punish for a month and then you get off in 30 minutes. No, you don't punish me for a month. And all you can do is add on to that. And so when he gets to school, he tries to be different than what he is at home. And I try to tell him, you go to school like that, it seems like I'm not raising you at home. then they the ones who let you get away with all of it. They tell me a couple of years, we let him we adjust our class for him. We give him 30 minutes to do what he wants to do, and then you can't give no child 30 minutes to do what he want to do, because he's gonna stretch it to an hour to 2, 3, 4 hours. When he comes in that class, he does what everybody else does. Or y'all sit him outside in that hallway and tell him to do his work alone. And call daddy, and daddy's on his way. But y'all don't want that. Y'all, they really don't want me in the school, because once I told y'all that I want to be able to come to the school and pull up, we don't know about that. It's other parents' kids here. Well, y'all here. Teachers mess with kids and do messed up stuff. So what's the point? I'm a parent. I'm definitely gonna, be here to bust y'all ass if it's some problem. But I'm here to focus on mine.
Yeah.
And they don't want that.
And that's cap. They not there to save him. They there to set him up to
oh yeah, I know.
They there to set him up. They want him to walk into that trap. You know what I'm saying? They want to do it. They want him to go into the trap while they smiling, acting like, well, I tried. Nah, you didn't try. You know what I'm saying? You did. You knew exactly what you was doing. But it's set up like that. That's once again, it's set up like that. And I guarantee you, he's in 8th grade now, and you're going to go through these problems till he's in 12th grade. You know what I'm saying? Unless we figure out a way to take that power away from
homeschooling. We're going to have to talk.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known about, I wish I would have had the facilities or the resources to do homeschooling. I have 4 children. Now, my children, and Vic will tell you, pardon me, guys, fellas, sorry about that.
They're probably calling right now.
One of the things that I have an issue with my children and the school system is that we set them up for failure from the very beginning. I mean, from kindergarten. What is this lady's problem?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Put it on airplane mode.
Hey, I'll call you back.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this is what we gotta display power. We're not powerful. We up there telling them that y'all need to do better, y'all need to do this. They love us in that position because they know we can't do nothing about it. And I tell people, school was set up the same way the employment system was set up, right? Kids are not learning 8 hours a day. Them kids probably learn an hour a day. The rest of it is playtime and just kicking the time. But it had to be set up for 8 hours because they want the parents that work for 8 hours. And like I mentor kids right now. When they get out of school, I was like, okay, so what book have you read? Well, I read this at school. I don't count school. Outside of school, what have you done? You know what I'm saying? That's the education. I want y'all to know that life is education. So we already grooming these kids that, okay, because most parents, when you clock out at 3, 4 o'clock, you done for the day. So these kids, they already got the employer mindset. When I clock out at school, I'm done for the day. I ain't learning nothing. I don't want to read no more words. I don't want to hear anything intelligent. Let me just dumb out for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? And they picked it up from what? The parents. Oh, man, I'm done for the day. I ain't doing this. I'm going to have me a beer.
Sit on the couch, watch TV.
It's the same thing.
Watch 90 shows.
They don't even understand that we're programming them to the same situation in the same system. And that's when we got to be accountable, especially as men, accountable masculinity and all that, and realize that, no, I tell my kids, I don't count school. When I talk to you about education and what you're doing, don't tell me nothing about school. Don't tell me nothing about sports. Don't tell me nothing about school. I'm talking about life. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you LeBron James on the court. I'm teaching you to be LeBron James off the court. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the warrior mode that we got to give these kids, and that's the power move. That's why right now my facility been open for 6 months, and I had a couple camps and a couple events. I already got probation officers hating on me, talking down, city officials hating, and I'm only 6 months in. I haven't even did the impact yet, but the community already feel the impact, and they hearing it. Like I walk in the probation officer, they know me because of what? All the kids talking about Mr. Johnson, the House of Resource, CEO, Youth League. He's doing this, he's doing that. He's teaching us about business. Now I got probation officers hating me for trying to do better with the kids. Like it's weird, but I understand.
You're taking
that job away.
Paycheck.
You can't bring no solutions.
Right. And that's what I have to realize. Like if I'm talking, because I just sit down with a juvenile judge and everything, and I have to realize, hold on, I'm walking myself into a trap. If I'm talking to these people about putting prisons and juvenile facilities out of business, that's taking your job. So no matter how cool I am to y'all, if I'm talking about taking y'all job, y'all not really gonna like me, really. You know what I'm saying?
So okay, like all of the things we're talking about that deal with, I like that we started on the ground floor, get an understanding of what we think power is, right? And then Chris, gave us a little bit of what's going on with him. And then you gave us a little bit of what's going on with you, Tony, when it comes down to House of Resources. And it's a power struggle for influence, right? So they have the structure to exact their power, and then you have to go end up taking your power back, right? So when you look at the perception of power in this whole situation, like how would you reframe that with the real world example that we got versus just the regular common understood power? Because like how does that play in your life? You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying it like this, man. I don't know what we talking about because we got to understand. We got to teach these kids that the game. What kind of game are we playing? Then we got to get them ready for that game, because if not, we can teach them everything they want, everything underneath the sun, but if they're not really understanding what they up against, then they ain't gonna understand what is power and what is everything else that we trying to teach them.
Yeah.
And we can't even. I was brought up a little different. Somebody told me when I was like I'm gonna say about like 6 years old. They say, hey, if you want to go to school, you can go to school, and if you don't want to go to school, you don't have to go to school. This is your life. So basically, we can go ahead and try to give them all the tools that we got, and if they want to do whatever they want to do, that's on them. We can talk to them till they blue in the face, till we blue in the face. If they not gonna get it, if they want to go, they on first 48 times. That's what they on. It ain't nothing we can do. Like no matter if you're a life coach or whatever it is, the parents can't reach them. Some people are just not meant to be like in society. You feel me? Mm-hmm. It's the good and it's the bad. I mean, I understand what the House of Resources is, and that's exceptional. Well, however, I mean, they killed Fred Hampton. He tried to make some change. Not saying to be discouraged, but just to know, hey, we up against a big fight. We can't be going in there as looking for some friends and so on and so forth, because they don't want us to be. They don't want us to do that.
No,
we taking away a lot of things from what the school system and America is built off. You know what I'm saying? We go and get some damn pushback.
Yeah.
If we ain't looking for no pushback, we gotta find something else.
You gotta find something else to do. Yeah. You gotta go be quiet and go do something else.
That's putting the power in somebody else's hands. Like for my children, one of the things that I don't care what you do. Listen, I could be on a different continent. I'm still gonna make that bread. You know why? Because I'm gonna look around and be observant. I don't have to talk. I'm gonna see where the moves are at. It's a visual thing. We're visual learners and we're visual understanders. So with my children, for instance, my kids saw me looking at me and going, hey, you're going to work every day. I'm going to school every day. All right, cool. So now I started doing this I mix things up. I don't go to work anymore. Now I own a business. Now I show what equity and leverage and how to utilize and how I'm moving. And now my son, my youngest, he's 17, owns a vending machine, got a car, is ahead of himself in pace as far as other children in his school. He's in all his classes are AP classes. He's rocking them. And then the school calls me. Check this out. Just to hit your point up there, Tone. School calls me and tells me, hey, he's been out more than 7 days. We need to talk about this. No, the fuck we don't gotta talk about it. That's my son. You got a problem with it? You're gonna hold his diploma? He's in AP classes holding an AB average, and he wants to leave the class for a day because they ain't teaching him shit. Guess what? He could fucking leave. Period. Now, if you don't like it, do something about it. I'll show you my power versus your power. And that's the thing. I have leverage. You ain't going to tell me that my son ain't going to graduate if he's got more than enough credits to graduate. You ain't going to tell me he ain't going to get his diploma because y'all feel bad. What y'all worried about is that he can't come into school. And if he doesn't spend a whole full day, you don't get paid. Period. So what your problem is that you want your pockets lined with my child and his attendance. And my son don't feel like it, then I'm not going to send him. That's the power that we have. That's the power that we use. And that's the power that I utilize. And then my kids see it and go, damn, if my father could talk to the administrators that way and walk out of here, and I still got to come back in this bitch, but they can't fuck with me. Do what I got to do.
That's a good way of protecting your kids with the language that's already written. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if the kid is doing what they're supposed to do, then it makes it easier for you to stand up. You know what I'm saying, on their behalf.
The child has got to see you do it. That's the key.
Do it.
That's what I was about to say.
I don't want to hear you.
And that's what Chris was trying to do. Yeah, you got to see you. Like, power has to have a in-person representation. You know what I'm saying? At some point, it can't just be like some ominous thing. Like, like when the people are using pronouns to describe, they won't like that. Wait until they see this. All these he, they, them, or they said, those people have no power. People that don't want to change anything are always limited by people that just operate off of the pronouns.
Hey, Vic, When you have no power, what do? You find a resource and gang together. That's why they have to use the word they.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, oh, there's a bunch of us now. We have power.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Come bring it. I'll show you.
All y'all got the same shit. All y'all
Got the same
got to sit down on the same sentence that I tell y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it nicely, but it's gonna be stern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because I go in there, I let them know, listen, I might look like this, but I'm not dumb and black. You know what I'm saying? I'm very smart, educated. I know what I want, and I know what I need, and I know what y'all ain't doing. And I don't know. One thing is, I just tell my son is, the main thing I get mad at is you go act different from home to school. Let them know you got home training. Let them know that you want to be successful, that you know where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? That your father is a prime example of trying to make it out the mud and using all his resources, but he's the main resource. And if anybody else is my resource, they're a boss. You know what I'm saying? I don't go try to find peasant resources because it's going to make you do peasant things. You know what I'm saying? Like one power move I want to make is I want to come check out Tony with I got 2 and 14-year-olds that live with me. You know what I'm saying? A boy and a girl. You know what I'm saying? The girl don't give me as much problems, you know, but the boy, he has the attitude problem, you know, the structure, because, you know, their mama just, it's not there. You know what I'm saying? And I always try to tell people is I'm trying to fill the void that their mama's supposed to feel. And I can't, you know what I'm saying? Because they old enough to understand, like, goddamn, where my mom at? Why she do me like this? Why they do this? Why they do that? And those questions I can't answer. All I can do is say, hey, pray that she gets better and that she come back. You feel me? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She's living her life. But over here, y'all are better than y'all were over there. And then I'm into the schools that she wasn't in. You know what I'm saying? The point she wasn't in a school. It took me all the way to this year to be able to really go inside the schools. They had been letting me in since 6th and 7th grade. Because my son was bad. But then this year they tried not to let me in because they came and lived with me. And they tried to make it harder. Like really harder. Once they found out that they were living in a better environment, the school tried to make it harder. Like I'm up there. I'm at every game. I was at the practices. I'm to all the practices. I'm in there. Bam, bam, bam. Here they go. Mr. Monroe, we need this, we need this. They even told my kids that since their mama ain't came up here, they were gonna call CPS on my kids.
They told me they were gonna call a social worker because my son was out 7 days, bro.
Yeah. So my issue is you gonna call CPS, right? And I'm doing it. They not coming here, they're not struggling or nothing. It's because their mama won't come up here and give her information to y'all like y'all want it. It's because what y'all want now at this point in time, because they're going on to the next year, to 9th grade, and y'all want to make it seem like y'all been doing what y'all want to do all the way through. And I see through this. And y'all have it. And I don't care because the point is a lot of their stuff is on me. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all really kids should always be homeschooled because everything is on the computer. The only reason I don't want you in the classroom is because you'll see what they do. Because when my son graduated, before he graduated, my oldest graduated, I used to sit in his class. Teachers up there kicked up with everything on their computer. Hey, y'all do y'all work. I might check in, I might not. Oh my God. So the kids that's been doing work know he ain't gonna check their work. So the kids that didn't do the work need to do their work. So they might get checked, but 9 times out of 10, he probably gonna check number 2 or 3. They don't read through it no more. So it's like, what are y'all doing? Y'all ain't teaching the kids nothing. Y'all get mad real
They're
easy.
supposed to. They're supposed to. They're supposed to make your child into a cog for the machine to use. That's why they take creativity. We had this conversation last week. That's why they take creativity out of the schools. Because if you have a creative person who creates a creative solution to a problem, now the school got a problem. Now society got a problem because these people who are creative will figure out a way. Again,
but school was designed exactly like you just said that. Like school was designed for people to be workers,
to be pimped,
not to be nothing else, man. We just supposed to work.
Yeah,
it's a design. So we arguing the fight that we gotta do more than what we doing if we want some change. Other than that, it's just going to continue to be the same thing.
And that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm unapologetically Puerto Rican. I'm teaching my children who don't know much about the island because we've been off the island through history and through current events what's going on. Because guess what? They ain't teaching this shit at school. They ain't teaching that Puerto Rico is a commonwealth that's just basically a slave state. They ain't teaching these kids who are Puerto Rican descent like my 4 children who didn't know that Puerto Rican people have no power. Period. We have no power. We have no representation. So you mean to tell me that you're gonna call it a commonwealth, treat it as a poverty nation, and just flick us some fucking tissue and come by and steal our shit? Like the school ain't shit. I'll say that to everybody. I say that to administrators. I don't give a fuck what the school gotta say. The school's here for a fucking paycheck. Administrators are there for a paycheck. And let me tell you, my man, in the back, I got 2 kids who are special needs. They at first said about 5th, 6th grade, hey, they're getting out of control. They're ADHD, blah, blah, blah. We had them checked. Doctors come back and say, oh, yeah, the school gave us the recommendation. They are ADHD. Come back, I take them to a different doctor. They're like, nah, bro. Your kids are on the spectrum, man. I got 2 kids who are on the spectrum of autism who the school is just saying it's ADHD because they know that if they put kids in a spectrum classroom, in an autistic classroom, they don't get as much as in an ADHD classroom. Because in an ADHD classroom, you got to hire security. You got to hire all these other things. You got to employ all these other tools. So the school's resources, their money, their power is allotted to your child, and they let you just keep bringing that equity back in every damn day. They don't give a shit what your child learns. That's why they pass these kids. Listen, I have twin boys who are autistic, and when they said they were ADHD, these motherfuckers couldn't pass that little middle school test, the CRCT test, and they pushed them up anyway. They said, that's all right. They're ADHD. They get with the program eventually. Move on to the next school. They're too old to be here.
So, in the first part of this discussion, you guys have identified problems. You know what I'm saying? And we're here because we all have identified these problems individually. And now we're collectively identifying the same problems, right? So this is where my man Tony comes in and how this discussion came about. Like what he's doing is working on the solution. That's what he's always done. But it would take him to talk about his journey, you know what I'm saying, to where he is right now. And that's what I want him to discuss on how we solve the problem, because all of us got our own way of solving it, but he's actually in the seat of power where he's making things happen and attracting, you know what I'm saying, other problem solvers to him. So I want him to talk about this because a lot of times we don't hear about these great institutions when they're starting out. We always hear about them after they've, you know what I'm saying, been in, operation for a sustained period of time, and then there's layers upon layers of access that's in between them and that, right? So before Tony starts speaking, I want to look at the comments too. And hey, shout out to Forever Gang. He said teachers be on their phones. Yeah, man. Like, look, this is the other thing too.
Player on the football or basketball team about the next plays.
Yeah, like we have to look at it like this right here. These teachers are our ages. Like everybody up here is with this. I think Brett is the youngest one that's here. All of us 40-something. You know what I'm saying? These teachers are younger than us. So I'm not trying to attribute age to anything negative or whatever, but we gotta keep that in mind too. You know what I'm saying? Before we assume anything else. So with that being said, Tony, what you doing to solve the problem, man, from your end?
For one, we got to raise the standards of just the way we operate, live, and we got to change the mindset. Them are the 2 things that I focus on, because our standard is too low in our communities. You know what I'm saying? Like what the homie was talking about earlier. It's true. You can do everything right for your kid, put them in the right situation, and they can still go off left, right? But how many of those kids that really in that position? You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have a lot of our kids was never put in a good position to be a better kid or better you. So that, so yeah, you can do everything right and they can still go off, but that's just a very slim, you know what I'm saying? So the standard that we live within, like all you hear people talk about is why the system ain't being better, why this ain't this, and why this, and then I come around, okay, well, let's start our own school. That's too hard. You know what I'm saying? But let's start our own media. And I try to tell people all the time, like, it's no different from what I'm doing than what NBC did 40, 50 years ago. They started off in a little room, black and white TVs, and now they're $1 billion company. But we look at them like they've been $1 billion company forever. No, they haven't. HEB wasn't this huge chain of companies 30 years ago. They started with something and they built up, and that's something that we in our community, we don't like to do that. We don't want to say, you know what, I'm gonna help this school build, and in 10 years we're gonna be on top. That's too long for us. We want it to be popping next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
They can't handle it.
And we can't and we don't understand
what it takes too fast.
We don't understand what it takes. Like when I first opened up 6 months ago, I had a thing where I was looking for 100 families to pledge $10 a month. That ain't nothing but $1,000. So the $1,000 will help a little bit, but it was more of I got 100 people monthly tied in, locked in with me. How many people y'all think donate $10 a month to me?
No,
2, 3,
100.
3. I got 3. 1 from Dallas, 1 from Killeen, and 1 from Round Rock. Not even in the Temple, Killeen area. You know what I'm saying? And that's a display of power, because if you go to another culture, white guy can kill a black person, right? And they'll raise him $1 million overnight because they're on code. They understand that we in this together. Hold on, you know what I'm saying? So, and I had a guy the other day like, man, you know what? If you were a Mexican guy doing this for the Mexican community in Temple, it will be 30 people here working for free. It'll be all kind of kids. It'll be all, because they understand mentally. They understand. Hold up, that's one of us doing for us. Let's build with him. We'll sit back. He doing something nice and wait for he to feel. Oh, I knew it wasn't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So that's
and never support.
And never support, never do anything.
Yeah, you know, and like Dr. Boyce always say, we look for a problem for every solution. So we got some people in our community, no matter what I say, they're gonna come back and say, well, that ain't gonna work because of this. Well, that ain't gonna work because of that. Well, what about what the homie said about Fred Hampton got killed? Yeah, that don't deter me. That inspires me. He died fighting this fight, and that's half our problem. We're so scared because, and this goes back to me and my mom conversation, right? Because my mom. I got a book coming out, and I'm talking about I left home at 12 years old, and I'm glad because I wasn't as programmed as everybody else in my family, you know, through the religion, through the work, and through, and not that my mom was a great mom. She was just giving me the tools that my grandma and them gave her, but that's a losing strategy for a black man in America. So it's not saying that my mom is a bad mom. She's a great mom, but the tools that she was given by her parents for me is just a losing strategy. And sometimes we don't want to do that because that's calling us out. And we say, well, you know what? The way I was raised was a losing strategy, and the way I'm raising my kids is a losing strategy. Most of us gonna get offended. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you ain't supposed to get offended.
Yeah, I'm a good dad. I
get offended off the truth.
Yeah, I work hard every day. I work 100 hours a week. But that ain't got nothing to do with preparing your son for this world. You can work 1,000 hours a week, but you know what I'm saying? But you still not preparing them mentally. Like I had one of my kids the other day. He got in a fight with a guard at school, right? So he got kicked out. So I go up there. They show us on camera what happened. And his mom over there, well, y'all should have gave him his backpack. Y'all should have did this. Y'all should have did that. And I told him right in front of your mom, a woman can get away with that. As a black man, if a police put me out of a building and I go up to the building and push the police and barge my way in there, you lucky you ain't dead. See, those are the different rules that our kids don't even understand, that you could have died right there. Mm-hmm. Right, like that instant, because what the standard and the mindset haven't been put in him. I talked to him. He's like, man, I have never heard a black man your age tell me this stuff. Most people telling me to trap, thug it out, this and that. So we got to take responsibility that, yeah, some kids can mess up, but we got to take responsibility. 90% of our kids ain't never even heard the right message. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about preparing them for the game. They don't even realize, some of the parents don't even realize they're in the game. How they going to teach the kids to play the game?
Man, look.
I'm saying it starts at home for sure,
mm-hmm.
But when you got everybody off the slavery mentality, then like you said, the tools, I'm trying to build a house and they got the wrong tools for me to build this house.
Yeah. And that's why you throw those tools, and that's why you throw them away and start over with new tools. And that's what I'm saying. It's no excuse. Like, I could say, well, you know what, my mom didn't give me the right tools. My mom this, my dad left at this age. You know what I'm saying? My woo woo woo. I could tell all kind of stuff. But I'm telling you that despite all that, I got the information, and I started doing this way before internet. So now they even got more information. You know what I'm saying? But now we got the information. That's not no excuse. Now you can.
I'm not saying that it's an excuse. I'm not speaking up for trying to make no excuse. We're on the same page for real. Like, I'm just speaking on the not just the devil's advocate about the other side of what you got going on. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
but see the conversation. No, I get you. No, it's not a back and forth between me and you. I'm just talking about the mindsets. I'm not even talking about you personally. I'm just talking about this the mindsets of us as a people. Because I even be like, I have days where I feel like, damn, because it's really, you know what I'm saying? Like, it all creeps in because the fight is so hard. And that's why I love when Big talking about code, and he talked about the accountability masculinity code, but we need a code as a people. That's just how we operate, and that's how we lose. We're not dumber than other cultures. We're not they're not way super smarter, but they're born, and they don't care if they kid turn into the worst kid ever. You're going to be born with this culture. You're going to be born with this mindset. You're going to see me putting in this work every day. You're going to see this. Like when I had my chicken restaurant, them cowboys used to come to my restaurant. they baby kid was dressed like them from head to toe, from cowboy hat to boots, right? And we'll look at that and laugh. But they building the culture, they building the mindset. But us, our family leave us some land, we'll sell it. Why? Because we're not attached to that. We didn't grow up with that. We didn't grow up part of a culture. We didn't build with that. And that's what I'm saying. If you build this into the kids, if you build entrepreneurship, in entrepreneurship don't even mean everybody needs to run a business. Maybe you just might be an investor. So I hate when people say, well, everybody can't run a business. Everybody can't get a job, but we still tell these kids to go get a job. Most of these kids are never making it sports, but we still got 100% of our kids playing sports. And 1% of them will never make it.
Trying to take him to practice. And he ain't good with that.
Listen, when we come to that, I do mine. Listen, I didn't take my son off the football field.
Ain't doing
if you ain't structured right, you ain't gonna play this. If I come to the games and you ain't getting in and I don't see you extra working hard, we gonna go to something else. This ain't the sport for you. I'm a strong believer. I'm not finna put my kids in 30,000 sports and waste my money and then you play neither one of them.
It's in the book.
I'm just
it's in the book.
I got women, baby mamas be telling me all the time, she needs to do this. Let me tell you something. Pick one thing that she gonna be good at and put her in it and make her excel at it. That's it. They try to put you in 40 things, you ain't selling nothing. They still want you to be, you ain't selling in 5 years.
You wasting time and money.
What we have to try, what we need to try is asking the kid what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a lot of parents that force sports on their kids, and I talk to these kids and they hate sports. I'm like,
yeah.
Well,
they want to build computers.
Sometimes you gotta watch and see what they're good at because they still know what they want to do.
I ask each one of my kids.
They tell what they want to do. They still don't do it right.
But I ask them, what are you into? I don't even ask them what you want to do. What are you into? I had one parent, well, I hate my kid love to play video games all day. We'll put them in code and they can create their own game. We got to stop. If they don't like what we like, then we go against it automatically. You know what I'm saying? Instead of these days, man, you can make money doing all kinds of stuff. Let's nurture and inspire them instead of taking away from them. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's exactly what Tony does.
Yeah, I tell them all the time, quit trying to make why y'all always watching other people do things and laughing and giggling, and I ain't seen y'all make not one thing to make y'all no money. And y'all just
that's the raising the standards, and that's just changing the environment, raising the standards and changing the environment, right? So and that's why I tell people all the time, a lot of these kids ain't bad. A lot of these kids just confused because they coming from parents that's confused. That's just the real of it. We hear about bad kids all day. We don't hear about bad parenting. And bad parenting don't mean you're a bad person. It could be like my mom. You just had the wrong tools and you gave your kid the wrong tools. So I don't want people to be offended if your kid going off. Okay, just let's reassess the tools that you got, that you giving them, and let's see where the disconnect is. A lot of us want to demand our kids to do what we want them to do instead of let's connect with them and see what we missing each other at. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to win. I hope you want to win in life. See, these are power moves instead of going to this. I don't need to go to no system and talk to no system with my kid. Me and my kid finna sit down in front of each other and figure out, so what am I doing wrong? What am I not connecting with you? You know, that's the power moves that we need to do. I don't need no principal to tell me about my kid. You know what I'm saying?
But the parents work 8, 10, like you said, 8, 10, 12 hours.
Yeah.
Then by the time they get home, they ain't no damn parent. You feel me? They wore out from all these damn bills whooping their ass. That now I can't really be a parent to my child.
But what you said, I don't want to cut nobody out, but I love this topic though.
Yeah, I can't be a parent, and I can't be a good spouse. I'm just a slave to this work. You feel me? And you saying something about the truth. The truth pill is a hard pill to swallow. It's too big. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to swallow that. They want an ugly lie. They want an ugly lie. They don't want that pretty truth, man.
And that's why I say that's the parent. So like, once again, not blaming no parents, but that's your fault. If you're locked in a rat race and you can't be to your child or what they need, we got to figure out how to get out that rat race. It's too much information. You can learn about trading, you can learn about wholesaling, you can learn about a lot of things while you at work that'll give you more time away from work, that'll give you more time to deal with your kids. That's what I'm saying. All that stuff is off the table. It's what I gotta do. What do I gotta do to make this better for my child? Do I need to make more money off my computer so I can be at home more? Well, let me study for 6 months. Let me figure something out. Those are power moves. Power moves is, this ain't working, let me switch it up, instead of saying, well, this ain't working, but this is all I can do.
It's the same thing. Your children are going to watch you. You don't necessarily have to be there and walk them through it, but they're going to see and watch. And that's what I was saying before. You can't talk to these kids. You need to do power moves. make the move, and watch the power shift.
You need to see it.
They'll see it. When my children were watching me they weren't watching me stay up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on YouTube, learning how to do and fix vending machines, because my son bought a vending machine, but I know he wasn't going to fix it. So I had to be online to understand what was going on so I could help him understand his machine, right? Even though he did the same thing, I wanted to make sure I educated myself. So your kids are going to watch you. When I got my trademark, my kids weren't there. When I did my apparel, my kids weren't there. But when they see me wear my apparel, when they see me talk about it, when they see me be hyped about myself, when they see my checks coming in, I'm like, yo, I got this from the apparel. I got this from this. I got this from that. I'm moving this into that. They're like, oh, wait a minute. They ain't telling me this in school. Now let me see what my dad's talking about. And then I just take them with me. I take them to photo shoots with me. I take them to show them how I get my work and how I'm creative. And all of a sudden, now my children are all ace in school. I'm on the last one now in high school, and hopefully I'll be 4 in a row graduated. I got a GED. I got a good enough diploma, damn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a good enough diploma, but my kids got high school diplomas.
Hey, I got 3 graduations already.
Good.
I got 4 graduated already. I got 4 graduates already. I got 2 in college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got 1 graduate in college. I got 2 going to college.
Hey, we doing good. I got my GED in Wyndham School District, if you know Wyndham, man.
Nah, I'm from up top from New York, man.
That's jail. I got my GED in jail. You know what I'm saying? And hey, so I try to teach them, hey, it's been a hard struggle. That, you know, hey, jail got me my GED. If I wasn't never went to jail, I would never got it. I ain't gonna care. Because I was so busy. My life be doing this, you know. I move like Sonic the Hedgehog. And I still do. So when I sat down and got my GED, I got it on my first try, you know, because I wasn't dumb. It was just, hey, I got caught up at an early age. And I try to teach them. I tell them all the time, hey, man, I got my GED in jail. I don't want y'all to go where I went. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to be better. I want y'all to be better than me by a whole lot. When I tell my kids in college right now, my son, he's finna start selling food. He's finna start doing a little food business. I told him that's what I do. So I'm there for you. I say, when you start it, I'm there to help you finish it. When you got to go to class, I'll ride to San Antonio and come prep that stuff real quick for when you get out there to be ready. That's what I'm here for. But if y'all don't want to do nothing, that's y'all. My daughter, she went to esthetician school. I paid for it, and she's not doing nothing about that now. Now she want to go to college for something else. So it's like you wasted money on something, and you want to go do something else. You need to put your structure in what you're doing right now and do the best as you can. If I told you let's try to find a building, and you don't get up and try to find it, how can I help you? You know what I'm saying? If you want to go chase behind boys and not want to get your business right, that's on you.
So I want to take a second to introduce my man Derek Walker, who just made it onto the panel, you know, and he's a spoken word artist. He has a new project that's out, and I want to let him talk about it for a split second so he can introduce himself to the world. You know, hey, I can't introduce him better than he can introduce himself, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him speak.
Hey, how y'all doing? Good morning. My name is Derek, Dallas, Texas. Man, I just appreciate the opportunity to be amongst esteemed conversationalists, to step into this as one of my early morning conversations and thoughts is very provoking and very inspiring. So I definitely appreciate being amongst these thought leaders and brilliant minds of expression. Secondly, I do have an album out. It's called Be Inspired Before Leaving Earth. It's out in consideration for a Grammy. And so as much as this is, you know, I appreciate, you know, the opportunity to be amongst you all. It is kind of based on centered around my album. The dope thing is that the conversation and the words I just heard are literally what I write about and what I'm speaking about in this album. And I like to, there's something about alignment that makes sense, where you didn't plan it, where you didn't prepare for it, but you get to see it. And that's kind of with these conversations illuminated. Is there a correct answer? Maybe, maybe not. I do think we're talking about solutions and options that work. I do believe and hear conversations about ideas that are different than what we've heard before, about realities that we never knew would be possible. So this is just dope. I appreciate the opportunity to introduce myself and just share and be amongst listening and hearing and also sharing some insight and perspective.
Man, I appreciate you, man. The shift that we're talking about right now is going from conversation, producing products, intellectual property, to, you know, actually having, you know, a full manifestation of a facility, places where we can actually, you know, conduct real networking and you know, and actually put our ideas into motion. So all of us have something to contribute, you know, that reinforces, you know what I'm saying, the narrative. Because without people to reinforce the narrative, you'll just have a bunch of chaos that's just ongoing inside of your head with no outlet, you know. And I feel like at this stage where we are, we can't do anything by ourselves. You can't practice individualism and then talk about the community not coming together. You have to first take your power back from underneath your roof. That's what, like, the perception of power really is about, from within, what you can control and what you can influence, distinguishing, you know what I'm saying, where you are in between that. And a lot of times we try to assert, we give more attention to things that we cannot fix versus, you know what I'm saying, neglecting the things that we have to change within ourselves to align with, you know what I'm saying, the environment, so we can actually have a chance at being successful. And that's what Tony has done, you know, with this whole conversation. He's already been doing the work, and now he has the facility that brings people to him so he can talk about the things that we're, you know what I'm saying, that we ran about, you know what I'm saying, in private. So Tony, what do you do? Talk to us about, like, just walk us through, like, I guess, some of your curriculum that you're doing to help people take their power back or recognize their power.
It's first, like, I have one week called "Does Your Money Like You?" and I'm teaching the kids that, do money really like you? Because every time you get it, you go to the store and give it away, so you don't stay around it too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just connecting those dots, because these, like I said, these kids don't. We teach them. The adult teach them. Here, go buy you a piece of candy. We don't see here. Once you go save something, once you like my first event, I had 12 of my kids become investors because all of them had J's on. And you know, and like I tell people, what I do is, it's not sports, it's not the entertainment. So we have to make this cool. You know what I'm saying? So how I got a lot of those kids to be investors, I'm like, okay, y'all got J's on, so y'all fly at school, right? But if y'all get your parent to buy Nike stock every time you buy some J's, you're gonna be the only kid that own a piece of the company that you wearing. They never even heard nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? So like, sometimes just introducing them to language that they never heard of. We teach them how to trap. We teach them they be dancing. We give them the football when they're 1 year old. We do all that stuff. And then when somebody like me come around talking about business and structuring yourself, well, that's too much for them kids, huh? Like, did you just hear that kid sing the whole rap song? And you know what I'm saying? They cussing and fussing, and like, do you hear how they talk when adults are not around? I was one of those kids. I know how we talked when adults wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? And this is what inspired me to do what I do, right? Like I said, I started running away at 10. I left home for good at 12. And what got me going to the streets, not because I wanted to be this big gangster, this big thug. What got me in the streets is the guy on the street corner showed me how to make $1 today. So my program is, when I get with these kids, I show them how to make money today, tomorrow. We're going to build a product. We're going to press up a shirt, show you how to make money. Not when you get 18, not hopefully somebody give you an opportunity. I teach my kids to go create an opportunity. We don't look for jobs. If I want a pay raise, what I do is, I got a hot dog stand sitting up right now. I got a snow cone stand sitting up. I got a box truck I haven't even took to the shop yet. I just collect things so I can give myself a raise anytime I want to. I can have my thrift store open longer hours. That's the power that I got in my life. And I was going back and forth with a lady one time, and she was like, "Well, I can't talk the way you talk on Facebook because I get fired." And I said, "That's the whole point. That's why we're scared. That's why we don't do half the stuff, because we're scared of what might happen to us. Can't nobody fire me. You cannot support me, and I get plenty of no support already. So, right. Only thing you can do to me is not support me. You know what I'm saying? But you have no power on putting me out of business. You have no power on if I say something you don't like, you can take it away from me. And I think we were talking about this the other day when I was like, I'd rather come from the mud and become a millionaire and be like a $5-10 million guy, right? Independently, than $100 million guy that got a contract that if I say something, you could take my whole life away from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my mentors right now don't speak on nothing but black empowerment. He fight white supremacy every day, and he live in the same neighborhood as Chris Brown. Why? Not because he's got the whole world loving him. He got a sector of his community that's gonna ride or die and support everything he do. That's all we need. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we don't understand that because we wasn't brought up as a group, as a culture, as we as one, like other groups were. We don't understand that. Like, credit score is a big why, because I don't got 50 people I can call and say, man, I got to play. Let's go. I'll go in $1,000. If we had those type of circles, we wouldn't even care about credit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to understand the power is there. It's nothing that it's nothing that we can't do, but it's what it's gonna take for us to do it. So you know, like I got to school, I don't know nothing about no credit. I don't know, and I ain't never got no bank loan, right? I went to the bank, they told me not yet, get your credit. You know what the banks would say, get your credit right, get this right. I went to a couple of investors, they said no. I want to sit down with the owner and his wife, and in about 2.5 hours, they signed the property over to me. You know what I'm saying? That's a power move. That's me being told no at the bank, no at the investors, and then when I go back to the bank and give them my address, they like, hold on, that's the yeah, I got their property anyway. Well, do you want us to refinance? I'll talk to y'all later about. Don't worry about that. That's a power move that they're not used to, because most of the time if they tell us no, we not. Oh man, the bank told me no. I'll just wait. Let me get my credit right. Let me go get a credit restoration company and see if I can. You know, I don't care about none of that. I'm going up in here with just the mission, just to play. Here goes some bread. Can I get the building? Okay, yeah. Let's bring the lawyer in. I have it paid. I have it paid off in 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like now that property is mine because I didn't take no for an answer. That's a power move. And we got to get used to making these power moves. They tell me I can't start a school. I'm already starting one. They tell me I can't feed kids unless I get a bunch of support. I feed 5, 6, 7 kids a day right now. I got my own pantry right now. I got, you know what I'm saying? We started our own trucking company right now. You know, like those are power moves. I got me a garden. I'm starting my cotton field in March, and I have my first harvest of cotton in August. I got a conference coming up called Build a Nation. We got to be able to feed ourselves, house ourselves, clothe ourselves, educate ourselves, employ ourselves, and protect it. Shield of Valor. I talked to you about Shield of Valor. That's my security company. These are 3 vets out of the West Coast that started executive security company. Now that's high level security, but now I got them going from low level to high level security. You know what I'm saying? We got our own guards, we got our own trucker system. I got, you know, so that's power, where all these things that we be like, oh, you doing too much. No, we're doing too little. That's the problem. As a people, we doing too little. We used to just going to clock in and clock out and go have a beer. No, after you clock out, you need to be on another shift of your dream now.
Yeah, clock into your dream.
Yeah,
clock into your future, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And our kids need to see this. So our kids need to see that, you know what, when I'm out of school, boom, I'm going to start my dream when I'm out of school too. Our kids need to see that. They need to know that. When I talked to Mr. Johnson, I see one of my little kids the other day from summer camp. And I was like, what's up? You got your money right? I'm working on my business. That's all they know me of. They don't talk to me about no little kid stuff. They talk to me about business. They talk to me about taking care of themselves, talking about getting their money right. How much money have you saved? Oh, I think I saved $3. These sound like my new conversations, but they understand when they talk to Mr. Johnson. Oh, what did I save? Oh, I spent my money. I can't tell him that I spent my money. Oh, he know I ate McDonald's. He gonna get on me. Have I ate any fruit today? He gonna get on me. They know the principles of life, and we've got to normalize that. Not preaching to them, but just normalize it. Oh, I wake up and eat fruit. I wake up and drink water. Like normalize it. Quit making it like it's a task and make it like this is just lifestyle.
Yeah. See, like at this point in the conversation, right? Like in the first 30 minutes, we identified the problems. And then this part of the conversation that we're getting to the end of is that we identified like the resources that we got to, you know what I'm saying, solve the problems or create a way to offset them. And then in this back half of the conversation, I want to see, you know, like us put I like to say deal on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like otherwise it's just a rant. It's just, you know what I'm saying, wasted air, and it's just some articulate, you know, conversation about things that we already know. You know what I'm saying? That's always been the case. So by this part of the conversation, I'd like to hear, you know what I'm saying, all of us try to weave together what we do well and figure out some way to work, because there's pieces here to be worked with, you know, because everybody up here has an additional talent, something that they're absolutely good at. And whether you believe you're good at it or not is besides the point. You're doing something that's necessary that the other person can maximize. You know what I'm saying? So like you mentioned about the food pantry and feeding, you know what I'm saying, those that can't feed themselves. This is what my man Brad does, you know what I'm saying, with SLP and his organization. He's focused on, you know, taking care of people that are, you know what I'm saying, in a disadvantaged position. He has the ability to do so. So how does your food pantry work, and how does that connectivity work? You know what I'm saying? From like, how could you guys, you know, bridge that gap with what you already understand and what you already have?
I mean, after this conversation, man, we can talk offline, and I can get your information because I want to help support that thrift store that you got. So we can definitely talk about
Chris,
it.
we appreciate you, brother.
All that. We're gonna get together. Tell time I'm calling. I need help my kids.
All right. I'll put y'all on the group chat. Yeah. So,
yeah, and that's the reason I started the House of Resources, because this is a house of resources right now. What we're doing, right? You know what I'm saying? We got the brother kicking the knowledge about what he's doing with his kids and how he's fighting against it. We got, you know, and I got a music company too called Realer Than Real Records. That was my first company. I started when I was 17, so I'm still in the music. I'm more onto the movie side now. I got a movie coming out. You know what I'm saying? But the House of Resources is about getting like-minded people, getting people with different talents. Like when they come in there, oh, you need a plumber? Let me go through my Rolodex. Here go my plumber. You need an electrician? Here go my electrician guy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you need this? Oh, you got a birthday party? You need an artist? Let me hit my guy up. You know what I'm saying? Like you just need some mentorship? Let me hit my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like we you know, I talked to you about, let's do a accountable masculinity class for my teenagers to adults. You know what I'm saying? Because we need to be teaching these kids, especially these boys, about man stuff. You know what I'm saying? About how to conduct yourself as a man. I watch so many shows about these little boys that, you know, they get them a little piece of tail, right? And then the girl leave them and they go kill her. Why? Because they ain't have a man to teach them. That ain't the way we operate. Like I had a man tell me the way to get over a one woman is go lay with another one. And we're not trying to promote that as a whole, right? But that is better than you going to go kill a woman. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather you be heartbroken and go get you another one than go kill the one that you're upset about. You know, so we got to understand that a lot of these ain't the perfect one-off answers, but they go to my whole thing is I just want to make you a better version of what you are. If you coming to me and you drinking and stuff, I'm gonna tell you, hey man, do it responsible. Drink you some water. Don't drink too much because your liver. I'm not gonna tell you to stop because that ain't what you choose to do. I'm just gonna tell you be a better version of that yourself. And that's what I tell these parents. I'm not here to make your child a preacher or a deacon or nothing. I'm here for them to be a better version of whatever they are right now. And me putting them, helping them become a better person will lead them to do better things and smarter things as they go.
Man, the conversation about power is about taking your individual power back, and you can't have an all or none situation with people that have no structure, because the minute that they don't feel comfortable, then they all the way out of it. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be a gradual progression. It's about learning discipline. Like for the most part, they're largely undisciplined. And until you start teaching, you know what I'm saying, like the things that you are doing are counter to a productive outcome. Like who do you know that's doing that's operating their bad habits right now that you want to be like when you're 80 years old? And I guarantee you, most of those people that's operating in their bad habits, they don't have the same type of quality of life as somebody. You know what I'm saying? So there's only two sides: discipline or undisciplined. And you got undisciplined decision making and then disciplined decision making. Disciplined decision making is usually in line with what you know what I'm saying, have as a purpose. And if you believe in what you're saying, you're going to adjust your quality of life. You're going to adjust the way that you interact with people that aligns with the goal that you have. Meaning, like, if you say you want to do something on behalf of the community, then you can't be doing things that hurt the people in the community, and you're a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So you're operating in self-sabotage energy at that point. You know what I'm saying? So like I like to see the problem get solved because we got too many smart people that's not working together. So and it needs to happen from, you know what I'm saying, from the work that you do that's out on the ground, from the work that you do that's under the roof of the House of Resources, to the work that Derek does, you know what I'm saying, in spoken word and entertainment and putting out the right vibe that lets people know it's okay, you know what I'm saying, to be the most powerful version of yourself for a healthy reason. The same as Adam has described, you know, from his journey, because he's a veteran too. Like Adam always throws this around, you know what I'm saying? He says he's known me half of my life, you know, and that's not that many people that when you really think about who's known you half of your life that is on the same bandwidth, that's not trying to talk down to you, trying to put you in a subjugated place, is actually seeing, you know what I'm saying, the value that you bring to a problem solving discussion, and they want to participate and they want to show up and they want to be there and be available. Hey, you see the merch? Hey, it's the little stuff.
All the way in Atlanta, baby. All the way in Atlanta. And then Texas.
Stuff, you know.
I'm just in Georgia, baby.
So, like, this is what accountable masculinity is about. This is what I intended for my platform, because like you just said, I didn't even think about it, but this is a house of resources. This is a networking tool. You know what I'm saying? Because I get to introduce problem solvers to people that are in the midst of solving, you know what I'm saying, whatever issues that they got. Or sometimes you need to be, you know what I'm saying, re-energized. And that's why I wanted to do this in the morning. I wanted it to be the first conversation that people had before they started their day. So when somebody brings something negative to you, you already understand that those people are investing in the complaints. They invested in, you know what I'm saying, perpetuating the same situation versus
failure.
It's just, you know, exactly, because failure is a cycle too. Anything that repeats got a recipe. It's got a schedule. It's got ingredients, and it's got components. So we have to be the components to success as well, because we have to take accountability of where we are right now based on what we know and the tools that we have. Because there are people that have had less tools that did more work with less resources than what we've been doing today as a community.
I think a lot of people hate to realize to use what's going on currently, right? Like look at best example. You want to talk about power in one structure? Look at Dave Chappelle and look at Kevin Hart. Dave Chappelle can get away with saying anything that motherfucker want to say because he's got the equity and he could stand on it. Kevin Hart, he gotta be real careful. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference. There's shit you can't cancel Dave. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dave tell you go fuck yourself. You ain't canceling me.
That's what real power is not being like.
Yeah, but who gonna turn down 50 million? You see what I'm saying?
That's what
he just talked
that's
about.
When you got to speak from power. Forget the 50 million.
It ain't about the dollar.
That's why black people have no power, because we can be bought out of power.
Right.
Like,
I think
the strongest person ever, and then somebody give you a check, and okay, well, forget that power. I'm gonna ride with you now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, we will, because we're in this room. But it's a lot of other black people, a lot of minorities that's going to hurry up and take the 50 million.
Because they're not used to power.
I'm saying,
yeah,
like, it's people that's going to take the money. But then, like you said, hey, I got a 50 million, but you telling me what to do, what to say, everything. I can't even live the life that I really want to live because I'm tied to this connection with this person that's paying me. And then the other person provided. Like Dave Chappelle, there's a lot of stuff that he does in Ohio, in his community. You know what I'm saying? Like he done did a whole lot of free tours. He already put this
power.
Yeah,
equity.
Now can't nobody shut him down. And he got that 50 million back and some more. And he got the power to gain. Now I can't fuck with this nigga like that because he ain't coming like that. Yeah. He ain't moving. He on a different type of time. So that's
what I mean. Like
I just want to ask Mr. Johnson, what made you decide to be out on your own and run away and stuff?
When I was coming up?
Yeah. Not now, but
I was just searching. I knew the way I was getting raised, it wasn't, I don't know, I always wanted more than what, you know what I'm saying? When I was coming up, we would talk church and go get a job. And for some reason, that just didn't set with me 8-9 years old. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm just like, hold on, my dad company just got shipped to China. This is in like the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like as a youngster, it just wasn't making sense. It wasn't making sense that my whole family live and die by church and we all struggling and poor. That didn't make sense to me at 8-9 years old. Like, so I just wanted, and I didn't like I said, I didn't want to be no street guy, but the street guy showed me today, let me show you how to make some money. And then after that, I was like, well, I'm gonna go to school and these teachers, I'm making more than a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, not to push street life or nothing like that. And that's why I reversed it. I was like, okay, when I was 11, I went to this guy. He showed me how to sell crack. When an 11-year-old come to me, let me show them how to start a business. That's exactly why I'm in a position I'm now, because I wanted to put a twist on what happened to me, right? Yeah. But I'm thankful what happened to me, because I'd rather go through the life I went through and be where I'm at now than be just a guy that graduated, got a good job, and just a part of the system, and just another black man that just stuck in the system. And my partner, I want Mr. Walker to talk, because I know he's been trying to jump in a couple of times. But before I pass it to him, it's a book called Financial Counselor by Jacob Jacobs, and he linked with how we so scared, stressed, don't want to lose our job. You can hate your boss, right? Man, we could be talking shit about our boss, right? So when he come around the corner, hey, sir, how you doing? We can't stand him, but we realize that this is how our lights get turned on. That's stressful as a black man to be walking around. You feel like you're a man, but at the end of the day, I told my partner this one time. He got upset with me. I said, "You're not the man of your household." He was like, "Yeah, I am. I pay the bills. I got the woo woo woo." I said, "Well, okay." I said, "If your boss fire you, your wife ain't giving you no ass tonight. You got to go get a new job. If your boss give you a raise, she gonna get freaky as hell tonight. He control your bedroom, bro." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your boss tells you if you can have a good Christmas, or if you and your kids gonna eat a big turkey, or y'all gonna have to just scrounge. Your boss, you don't look at it like that. Reality. Like I live in reality. It's not about painting pictures, pointing fingers. This is reality. If we got bosses, our boss can cut our lights off and they can turn them on. That's a reality. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that a job is bad. It's saying that we're not using the job like the job uses us. If you got a job, man, get all them hours, work overtime, stack up, and
leverage.
You know what I'm saying? Like leverage the job like they do you, because they're gonna use you until your body break down and they're gonna get rid of you. Use them until your pockets get right and get rid of them. Like we can reverse what they're doing to us. We're just not taught to do that. But let me hear from my good brother in the corner, because he's been patient, quiet, and then he just looked like he got some powerful stuff to say. You know what I'm saying?
come on, Walt.
Nah, man, it's a beautiful conversation, man. You know, when we have the conversation about power and understanding that it connects back to us first, that's the real power. And so even in the conversation about Dave and Kevin, you know, yes, they're in the same game, different type of player. And I think it's important to consider how they came into this space, right? Dave Chappelle's move through the infrastructure and the guidance he had through that system, he should be empowered to be and say as he needs to say. You know what I'm saying? From one perspective, and not that Kevin's disempowered or doesn't have power. He has a different type of power. Mm-hmm. So the way Kevin came through it was a commercial means first. For Dave, it was art first. And so understanding how to prioritize, I think, you know, when I think about power, it's the ability to prioritize. Well, hold on, I just got an acronym. The power to prioritizing opportunity when, the power to prioritize opportunity. I'll come back to that word with the initialism. What I'm saying ultimately is that there's a power within, and I'm actually interested to know the two things that you did, each of us have done, that got us the results and the outcomes that we need. And I asked that because what I was introduced was an outcome, but I didn't know what the variables were that contributed to that. So it's the same as someone. If I ask my nephew, "Hey, how do you get 4 + 4? I mean, how do you get the number 4?" And he says 2 + 2. All right, but if I ask my 10-year-old nephew how to get 4, he might say 96 minus 100. So I'm saying we can get outcomes that we can get the outcomes that we desire based on the variables that are presented. I think the other part of that, as I go into the question, is, you know, understanding the ability, just like you, Wealth is Gangster. What's your name again?
Tony.
Yeah, like I think it's dope. You know, like it's dope that you were able to see that and understand there's something about what's happening that's not working. Because I know that I saw that, but I didn't follow that. And some of that's about opportunity to follow, because I can literally recall realizing like, nah, this church thing doesn't work this way. And I see it working, and everybody's preparing us to do it this way, but I don't think y'all understand. And so for me, I started to see very soon a child with a person who doesn't want to be with you and follow your instruction and guidance. Don't do that. That was the first thing. And so as much as it is about what to do, it's also the variables to look out for, to identify, to make sure that you don't put those into your equation. And so once again, my question is, what are the two things, and I'm very curious, like what are the two things that you did or believed that shifted the tide for you?
You're muted, Tony. I can't hear you.
You said all of us, right? You was asking that for all.
Yeah. Any of us, yeah.
I mean, for me, I'll go first if I have to. The tools that I use, I mean, I don't know. I try to use I have a real bad issue with depression, and so I try to turn my negative into a positive. And so with my depression, I kind of like want to be on my own, and so I wind up getting out of my depression by head diving head first into subjects and learning as much as I can about it that interests me. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons why I did well with the Airbnb game, which is why I did so well thanks to Vic. He gave me a lot of information, but me being up late at nights, you know what I mean? I just dived into it. Same thing with the vending machine game. Same thing with me retiring. Like I utilize my negative time and leverage it into positive solutions, because that's all we ever have to do. You know what I'm saying? I remember my mom. I'm an only child with no father. I had a sperm donor who bounced, and then it was just my mom who raised me, and she was on her shit. So I had no choice, man. I was like one of them kids in the commercial. His $5 a day help support this child. My mom was giving me $5 a day, and I had to go eat lunch, breakfast, and dinner. You know what I'm saying? And still find my way back. So now I leverage my everyday shit. I learned I try to use topics that are right now, current. Like I said, the Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, you know what I mean? The stuff that's going on in Puerto Rico now, I try to tell people how this has been happening to us so long and how I try to leverage it into how we could change it because of this. We see that pattern, let's change it, right? And so I've been up late nights studying. That's what I do, at least.
It's good, and I'm literally taking notes because this is part of how we do this. It's to hear it and apply it, and to utilize it in the ways, because there's the other part is that it doesn't stop. We only have an opportunity to get better. So as you said that, I heard self-advocacy, isolation, leverage, and study.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so now we can teach through the importance of utilizing these tactics.
Yeah.
Because the tactics connect to the outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get an outcome without a tactic. Like it doesn't like, right. It's a million ways to get it, and I tried them all. You know what I'm saying? I'm also saying, I think we're in a position right now where we can make sure that the all are better options. I also was thinking of when you were sharing, is that sometimes it's challenging to form an opinion about the outcomes when we didn't know what the options were. So understanding how you chose the option of self-advocacy, isolation, leverage, and studying, now we get to see it. It unlocks and illuminates. Oh, here, let me prioritize doing this in my power.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying, and just working through that. But I think this is the study. This is the conversation, the intellectual sharing that happens to develop and cultivate real people. You know what I'm saying? And real. So if it goes into business, if business is your thing, but it also goes into family planning and development.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have all the money in the world, and we've seen it, having all the resources in the world, but not having a family and not having a community, of not having, and not even what not having, but just having trouble after trouble. But you're not indoctrinating yourself with self-advocacy, isolation, leveraging opportunities, and studying. Then your outcomes are not going to be what they need to be, regardless of what the outcome is.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Derek Walker here with our interpretation and analysis, because that's good note taking and breaking down right there, because I admire that, because this is a very, very good question, because everything we started with is just what we started with. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant to stay there, and how do we make it work for us? That's what we're talking about, right? Because the same thing that's being used against us can work for us once we understand what's being used against you. So that goes back, like what you were talking about, like the ingredients, the what I mentioned earlier, the recipe, the schedule, and everything else. So how do we reverse the power dynamic? Transmutation. You know what I'm saying? You take what was being given to you, you figure out what applies and what doesn't, and then you figure out how to learn from it. So traditionally, everything that you needed to learn about school that was taught to you without question was that you go to school, you go to church, and between those two, you'll figure out what life, is supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to navigate that and solve whatever problems. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's always been a separation between church and state. You know what I'm saying? For the same reason. So when I think about that, I meant to text all three of you, you know what I'm saying, at the same time at some point. I believe that the complaints that we have about children and education what they pay attention to and what distracts them. And adults too. The same issues that the children got, the same issues that the adults have. We think that the adult does not have the same problem, and then the adults are trying to correct children before they correct their own behavior first.
Where you think the kids got it from?
Where you think they got it from?
They observed.
You endorse it. You know what I'm saying, with your behavior. So like when Adam gave the example of how he showed his son something different, and then his son gained interest in what he was doing to the point where now he's, you know what I'm saying, replicating that same behavior. You know what I'm saying? Got a vending machine. That's a big move. So what I believe in is this right here. Everything that we have blamed for miseducating and exploiting us is really a social case study of what tactics that's been used to manipulate us. So if we examine how we behave and know that that behavior is either disciplined or undisciplined, we can use that for our advantage. You know what I'm saying? We can break cycles a lot easier if we look at it with an open mind, accountable masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Like looking at it. Like I believe people say reality TV is a negative thing. Yeah, it is if you try to replicate what you see in reality TV. But if you use the people that's on reality TV as models of human behavior to avoid you getting, you know what I'm saying, a down and dirty raw example of what happens if you lead your life a certain way and now you're on reality TV for the same behavior that got those people there. And then you got a choice to make. Is that how you want to, you know what I'm saying, live your life? Is this what you want for yourself? Or how many of those people that have participated in their own exploitation are living a life that you want? And you have to look at the back end. We got to get comfortable with looking at the back end. We want to get rich off one play. We want to make the first move the best move. You know what I'm saying? When really your next move should be the best move, which continues to happen because you're gonna keep living. You got to keep making moves.
You gotta grow.
You got to grow. You got to progress.
Yeah.
So like, and if you look back at I mean, we got to watch the film.
You gotta watch
football teams. Look at like basketball teams and sporting. They go look at film on where they failed. Then they take what they learned from the film, and then they go out there and then they iron out, you know what I'm saying, things, or they scrap certain players like, hey, that player didn't work against this, you know what I'm saying, against this organization. We don't do that with reality TV, but it's documented. We can look at it and say, you know what type of behavior leads people to become a candidate for this type of exploitation. You know what I'm saying? And some people benefit from it greatly, and some people suffer. And some people fail miserably trying to reenact what they see on the film. So we have to have a better conversation about what entertains people, which is what Tony has been talking about. It's like, take what the kid is interested in and spin it. You know what I'm saying? It's not useless. It's not useless because you can learn from it, because you have to learn about behavior. You have to understand that you're reflecting something negative or positive in your community. Everybody's a product of their environment. Are you a negative or a positive product? And that's based on if you're disciplined or undisciplined.
Man, you said you said a lot, man. You know, you talk about the reality. You talk about the reality television. You know, I'll say for me, what's really worked for me is the more I got interested, I went to study, I went to leverage my family history. When I understand that my grandmother, who was born in 1914, was a burlesque dancer at one point. When I look and see that my grandfather on my dad's side is a pastor and a minister. When I look at my mom as an educator, and also my mom's side of family as entrepreneurs, I see the elements of what I'm already made with. So my ability to utilize that, to leverage that based on what I see and understand as a reality is the best opportunity that we have, and that's the thing, that's the tactic that we can teach them. Because we've talked a lot about tactic and how I've jokingly said, like, man, I wish I was in the military, and not for the risks and all of the you know, for the things, but just the commitment and the infrastructure and the discipline that you have within yourself, that you're at least introduced to. And so when you're in environments where you kind of can free reign, that works as long as it's working. So to that, I just kind of created that initialism or the for the word power. I said is prioritizing options while exercising realness.
Hmm.
Prioritizing options while exercising realness, and the realness is about understanding how to accept reality as it is in the moment. To say, you know what,
It is.
the water is coming out the sky, and I still want to go do this.
Yeah.
Now your options aren't the rain is bad. It's not that, oh, I didn't expect this to happen. It's like, yeah, what's real right now? What can I do? What priorities what options can I prioritize in this moment to get to the next space of where I not just think I want to be, but what's gonna work for me.
Yeah.
And doing things that'll work it removes the option of right or wrong. Because I just, you know, some of it just recall my childhood. There was so much about right and wrong, but then nobody introduced us to what the rules were. Like, oh, you did that wrong. Well, hell, I didn't know I did it wrong. I didn't get that insight or that instruction or that guidance before knowing that it was wrong. Then you got in trouble. You know what I mean? And this is some of it, a lot of it coming from parents who've been part and benefited from a system.
Yeah.
I talk about it in my spoken word. I'd love for you all to check it out, imdwalk.com. But I talk about the benefits of the system include wealth, notoriety, and fame. So if we're introduced to that and prioritizing that, then these are the outcomes that we have to suffer with. I watched my dad. You know, he retired, a few years ago, and I'm watching him like reconcile. Like, man, I did this to have a good maybe 8 to 12 years. You know, because as we age, our health is not gonna improve. At some point, there's a breaking point where things don't get better with your body, and literally maintain it. So watching some of that happen and watching that reality, even for myself, just as getting to 40, it's like, whoa, okay, my knees don't really work that way. Oh shoot, I can't eat this. I don't. If I eat, I was just telling my cousin, man, I was like, I don't think I've ever really been able to eat barbecue, and but I forced it on my body, and now my body's saying, well, if you don't stop, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
And so we have to prioritize being able to listen to our body. Last thing is I often say, like I'm sharing this with my nephews right now. Always be in a position where you can go to the restroom whenever you need to. And it sounds crazy,
Yeah, simple.
but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
also introducing that to a 4-year-old and to a 10-year-old is that they don't have to overcome all of the other things and mistakes and like happenings in our lives. And I can say, yo, like you can take this one thing and it works it's called a trophic cascade, works across the board. Maintain a position where you can always go to the restroom immediately when you know you need to go. That paradigm shifts everything and allows you to take care of your body, allows you to prioritize your options, and allows you to live a life where you're comfortable. Because ain't nothing worse than being uncomfortable. Like having to go to the bathroom and you can't go. That's one of the most uncomfortable human moments in life.
Yeah, for real. Like you
Let
can't.
me jump in real quick because I don't know what the time, but I definitely I love what both of y'all was talking about. And one thing when you talk about we're a product of our environment, because we all say they coming up, right? And I got it in my book, The Streets Lied to Us, the one I wrote for the youth. I got it talking about. I used to say that proudly, say I'm a product of my environment. But what I teach these kids now, make your environment a product of you, right? So if I put the right stuff in your mind, even if you're in the projects, let me show you how to grow a little garden in your backyard. Let me show you how to think differently. Because if you change the mindset, that kid in the projects gonna start thinking different than the kid that got the project mindset. It's two different. You could be in the projects with a higher mindset, or you could be, or I know some kids that live in the quote unquote Beverly Hills with the project mindset. So your environment gonna be a product of you. We got to stop being a product of our environment. We can change that environment. That's one thing. But when you talked about the reality show and you asked about the two things that helped us change or see the way we see, mine was reality TV, but it was reality TV in real life. Like the way I am now is because I was on the block at 12. So my older homies that I still talk to right now, 60, 70 years old, where are they at? Broke, getting that $1,200 a month, some living with their mamas. That's why I work the way I work, because I don't want to be like that. I seen them in the 80s have the family, have the nice 2-story house, living the dream, this and that. And I seen how it ended because they didn't prepare. They wasn't prepared for the divorce. They wasn't prepared for the job that fired them. We just not prepared as a people. So I want to prepare these kids as a youth. Like, okay, you can go get a job, but if they fire you, you ain't got to be homeless. You ain't got to be desperate for anything. Start a business. Matter of fact, while you working that job, you should already have a business. And I don't want to hear that. Well, everybody ain't meant to run a business. Life is business. Like your relationship with your girl, your relationship with your mom, your relationship with your family is business. Everything is business around us. We the only ones that tell our kids, well, everybody ain't meant to run a business. You meant to run your life. You meant to run a business.
Right.
That don't mean you got to hands-on run a business, but you need to be a part of something that's going to protect you. Go get a job, invest, or have a part-time, have another job, and then start a business. Do something that gives you more freedom, because freedom ain't really money. Freedom to me is, I took a pay cut in the last couple of years because I love to just do what I do for the community, right? I took a pay cut, but I put myself in a position where I'm not living the same rat race. You know what I'm saying? My box truck is paid for. My 2 old trucks, my work trucks are paid for. I don't have to keep up with the Joneses and try to look like I'm doing better. I'm more secure because I'm not running in circles trying to get all this money just to get back to the system so I can look like I'm doing good to the rest of us. That's one of our biggest problems in the community. We want to look like we're doing better than we are. You know what I'm saying? And then we realize once you really get to another level, you don't even want to look like you got the money no more. You want to kind of like put that away and hide it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say raising the standards and mindset is the 2 things that can really throw us on a different trajectory in this world. And that's why I would say mine was reality. I got some shirts coming out called PhD in common sense. And that's what I teach my kids. Like, you ain't got to be the smartest person. If you use your common sense, you can beat person that got the highest grades in school. Like, because they might be good in school, but in life they're gonna fail. I want you to succeed in school, even if you fail in life. I want you to succeed in life, even if you fail in school. Because I dropped out of 8th grade, and most people that told me I was a loser want to get down with me now and want to be a part of what I'm building now. You know, I'm not advocating dropping out of school, but I'm advocating that school is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way we're taught, like, we have to go to school and graduate. Great, if you do, great. But you know how many kids graduate, have that big party, go do the first semester in college, and then right back at home with their job? It was just all a feel good. I'm in debt right now with Temple College. I dropped out in 8th grade. Why did I go back? I went and got my GED, but I went back to college because society told me I was a failure and I need to make my mama proud. Go get this business, associates in business, and get $30,000, $40,000 in debt, even though to this day I done ran multiple businesses that haven't used that certificate, that degree for $1. That degree haven't made me $1, but I did it because society told me I was a failure because I dropped out and I disappointed my mom and this, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to get out the quote unquote mind fuck is what I tell people. We all in a mind fuck. Like, we all trying to live up to this image that's a fake image.
It's called the American dream, my brother.
And I tell people most of the time, especially for us, the American dream is really a nightmare. That's what I teach people. Like, the American dream needs to be the way we present it, not the way it was presented to us. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. That's why we got to control the narrative of our media. Our kids need to hear from us what's the American dream, not from them.
Here's I'm gonna piggyback on you. I don't mean to cut you up, but what you said was really important. If you look at music, I'm a big music fan, right? I'm not a big sports fan, but I'm a big music fan.
You listen to Wu-Tang Clan.
But I'm born, bred, and raised in New York City, bro. Former hip hop, right? But there's a big difference when you listen to music now than BDB Productions. When we had in the late 80s, early 90s, we had that underground righteous culture come out. And what happened? The A&R companies, they started shutting that down because they realized that for us, violence ain't shit. Love is everything. When we start loving each other and we start helping each other, they're fucked.
Yeah.
So they stop the whole uplifting music and let us hear this trash. And so, like, now I teach my kids, I'm like, yo, yeah, you can listen to Lil Uzi Vert, but turn around, let's listen to some of these old cats who are spitting game. You know what I'm saying? Kumo D, Big Daddy Kane, like old shit, still gangster, but still they were teaching you a lesson and learning some shit. BDD Productions. But you got to be careful because I'm in entertainment. That's my thing. That's what I got my degree in. And so I know how the powers that be, when they see that we start loving each other, we start helping each other, well, they crank that shit down. They make sure to weigh you down. So that's why we have to have the leverage and the equity within ourselves in order to just bring ourselves up and say, well, fuck you. I don't need you. I don't need that 50 million. I'm going to do what I got to do because this is going to help me and my people. And that's what Dave did. Dave was like, yo, fuck the 50 million. I'm going to hit to Africa. I'm going to come back And then he didn't do that, but I'm just saying that was what it was reported. When the Africa came back a changed man. Nah, that motherfucker didn't come back a changed man. That motherfucker came back more solid than he ever was because now he's helping his community out.
Yeah, at peace. Doing his thing. His lifestyle ain't changed. His bank account ain't changed. He's at peace because he didn't fall for the okie doke like most of us do. Most of us fall for the $50 million and then we realize we trapped. You know what I'm saying? But we have to build that young in us. Like these kids right now, they're all trying to outkill each other on music. Why? Because they see that's who get the record deal. You know what I'm saying? But the kids that I'm tooling, I guarantee you can't come at them with $100,000 and they sign their life away because I done already schooled them that $100,000. I can show you how to make that with just 1,000. If you got 1,000 fans and they spend $100 with you a year, that's your $100,000. You don't need to sign your life away for $100,000. But our kids ain't never been equipped with the game to how can I beat around this system? Like me, I always wanted my own business, right? But I thought I had to go through the system until I started hearing people like the Farrakhan's and I'm like, hold on, it's black men that don't care about the system that's straight.
Yeah, for real.
Straight outside of the system. Oh, that was mind blowing to me when I realized that as a black, because I always wanted to be wealthy. I always wanted to get that bag, right? But I thought I had to go through them and smile and dance and do whatever they say to get it. I didn't realize that I could be respectful, unapologetically black, do my thing. I'm not here to harm nobody or hurt nobody, but I can live in my truth and still get to where I want to be without compromising how I feel about it. I wouldn't want no check, but I come on here with y'all and I can't say certain things because I lose. I get fired by the time we.
Look, I think everybody that's exited that part of the matrix is just like different. There's different, you know what I'm saying, levels to the matrix as it is. You know, like when you work in your perception of self and the world, it's different. Yeah. When you work for yourself, your self-perception of yourself, obviously, and other people and how you interact with them becomes different because you're not dealing with the same people, you know. And as we draw to a close, like I want that to be the understanding here. Power is about self-perception. If you believe that what you do and what you represent and you can walk in it every day is effective, then keep doing that, you know, especially if it's for a healthy reason. But if you have some limitations on partnership, you're gonna have some limitations on how much further you can go, because you got to still be compatible with other people if you believe in community. If you don't believe in community, you know what I'm saying, then that's just different. There's people for every facet, and on top of that, those that believe in community can't get mad at those that don't, because those are people that you don't want in your community anyway. Let them self-identify and move around them, because those obstacles have always been there. What you got from me, man?
Shit.
Because I'm gonna close out with Derek, because I know he got something on his latest project that can take us out of here or whatever. So, you know,
I definitely want to make sure we stay all connected, man. I would like to bring y'all brothers on my Wealth is Gangster podcast so we can have our discussions too. So I want to make sure we all stay connected, man.
Yeah, I want in on that because I'll squeeze a dime out of a rock. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. So like all of this is about taking your power back for yourself first, not just fighting against some power that you don't even understand. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know how to approach it, you know? So I think this is about recognizing the difference between the things you can control and the things that you can't, what you have authority over and what you don't. Power is somewhere in the middle of that. Your power is somewhere in the middle of those two things.
Yeah, like understanding that you are different and believing in yourself wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that you get up every day and go to that job that you hate, the same day you got to keep that energy for yourself and minding your business and doing the right thing and making sure that you're eating the right stuff, because health is part of the wealth. Power in the totality, it can be first, like you said, believing in yourself, and then getting with the community, building your own community and like-minded people so you can go ahead and get to your final destination, whatever that looked like. Like if you can dream and you can, and somebody laughing at it, that's a good dream because people don't believe in you. But you got to believe in yourself, even when somebody laughing at you, when they think that you can't get it done, when they tell you no, you can't do it, when they get real hard, and you still find a way to make it happen. Like that's the real power. Everybody has it. You just got to tap into it.
Man, appreciate you for that, man. Because like it takes a lot of individual grit to go do things that aren't necessarily popular, and that's what like the isolation that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we all talk about. Like when you
Isolation is good. I didn't want to cut you
Yeah,
off,
no, you good.
but you're right. Isolation is good, but if you notice, a lot of people don't want to be by themselves.
They don't.
So they go to work for a check that they getting underpaid, but they going to complain. They don't take care of the kids like they supposed to, is because they underpaid and they got their own demons or whatever they got going on, and not really understanding like all of this stuff is spiritual. Now you can believe whatever you want to believe, but it's a higher power. Since we talking about it,
Yeah.
we got to always tap into that and keep that as the foundation of whatever you got going on. And then whatever you put in your body, if that's food, that's music, is whatever you listening to, whatever you see visually, and then you can just make a difference and try to be the best version of yourself in the midst of all that. And it ain't no right or wrong answer. Is what God bless you to be, or who you become as, if you want to make that hard choice to be by yourself. Then you can get to your final destination. But if you with a crowd, you're gonna be this probably gonna be what's the word I'm looking for? Distracted. You're gonna be distracted with other things and probably follow somebody else's path, not really yours. So I mean, I can't wait to stop by the thrift store and help you run it, man. I'm excited for real, man. This is a good morning. Today gonna be a good day.
Yeah. Walk, take us out, man. What you got from what the people need to know, and for everybody else,
man, listen.
Everybody that's just watching the chat, make sure you go cop the merch, support SLP, and look up check out IMD Walk on the YouTube link. For the latest version of his spoken word album that's gone Grammy nominated. It's in consideration for a Grammy, and I'm gonna let him speak now.
Yeah, man, listen, appreciate you all for sharing. Appreciate you all for inviting me to this space. There are four pillars that I really recognize. I call it the 4I: individuals, intellect, infrastructure, and institutions. And there's a point where we can identify the value of all of those spaces to be able to move not just forward, but to move better, to move improved, and to be an enhanced version of what we were before we knew what we could be. And so, real quick, just want to go through the few words that I kind of picked out of today's conversation that I really want to carry on and even advise consideration for us to all continue to do, because these are tools, these are tactics that we can start today, no matter what the situation is. So the self-advocacy, isolation, leverage, study, self-identity, preparation, investment, mindset, common sense, and self-perception. Those are all very key words and key things to consider. Not just words, but they're also tactics and verbs that we can actualize and roll into our intention at every age, at every economic status, and every moment that exists. And so real quick, I want to close out with just a piece of what's on the album. This one is called Marks of the Trade. And it's the last stanza. So you see, America has a problem. The people closest to it can influence the outcome, but when the benefits of the problem include wealth, status, and notoriety, then you understand why we would consider property 3/5 of a person. Not even a full American. When I can look in the mirror, it's uncannily apparent that I can do all things. Well, at least that's what I was lectured to believe. So the opportunity seems to be a token, a representation of what is, but the system is still broken. The isms of being professional, my race, the isms of my hair become the adoration for your ideals of equity. Even though equal is a low standard. Hell, my grandparents got to the table, provided my parents a seat. Now I'm ready to eat, but the food ain't good. I took a sip of the Kool-Aid only to realize that the red dye is killing us all. How far did we fall from the mountaintop and what Martin saw? I think Malcolm was on the right track, but it seems we might be on the wrong train. So I will move us from the intersection of Martin and Malcolm to get us out of that burning building and step away from the table. By any means necessary was the saying. Now we work by every means available. That means preparing the table. Before you or me, let's eat. Let's all have this moment of silence. For everybody who's sitting here with me today, I offer my peace. That's grace. Ashe.
Man, that's powerful, man. I'm with that.
Love that for real.
Yeah, it's powerful right there. I'm
Yeah,
with
that's just a little. That's a part of a piece, man.
Yeah, I just
Listen,
subscribed to your YouTube, so yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
check that out, man. Listen, y'all share your feedback, share your insight. You know, when you talk about building a building, and I mentioned another piece, intellectual and tangible. You know, what Vic didn't say is that I actually started a religious corporation. What he didn't share is that I have a distribution deal and a partnership with 2 labels, Anderson Music Group and Empire Records, for my distribution. So when those students want a record deal, know that it's actually more simple to achieve and attain than they realize.
Yeah.
But having the intellectual capital as an asset to utilize to leverage those opportunities is really where not just the money is, but that's where the real opportunities are. How can you leverage your intellectual assets?
That's where your power is right there. On that note, I'd like to say thank you to all the viewers that support the platform. You know what I'm saying? Weekly. Check the comments for the merch. Support the Wealth is Gangster podcast. Shout out to my man Adam with Unapologetically Puerto Rican, and Mr. Derek Walker with Be Inspired Before Leaving Earth, and a host of other things. Hey, we out, man. You know, I'll see you guys backstage.
Yes, sir.
Peace.